What's going on, guys? Here's my 1994 Chevy Blazer. Wanted to show you the current setup I've been running for the past couple years. As you can see, it has a intercooler set up on it because it has a cheap budget turbo blow-through TBI. It's a stock TBI 350 and been running about 7 to 8 pounds of boost with it for the past year and a half. It's been doing pretty good. Probably have 3,000 or 4,000 miles on this setup, and it hasn't blown up yet. There's a rising rate fuel pressure regulator that's 1-to-1 ratio. The wastegate set up down by the frame there. That dumps out here by the bumper. Intercooler goes through the fender and sits in front of the radiator. Most of the parts are just cheaper, like no-name really parts off Amazon and eBay. It was just kind of a project to see if it was doable and how long it would hold up. This engine is pretty tired. It's been tired. So, I mean, if it blew up, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It doesn't make a ton of power, but it definitely makes more than before. Sounds pretty good. It's a 3-inch downpipe. It was really tight doing all that. The welds aren't the prettiest, but it works pretty good. The truck's been sitting for about 2 or 3 months. It's obviously winter time here, and trying to keep the salt off of it, keep it in good shape, because the body is actually in really nice shape. So we're gonna see if it fires up, get it warmed up, and maybe make some boost. Cranked over slow, but it fired right up. That was pretty good. Three-inch exhaust, no muffler. Yeah, the truck's in nice shape. The fuel pump is a stock fuel pump from a Vortec style truck, so it's capable of 50 pounds or so. Right now it's set up on about 10 pounds. I bypassed the factory fuel pressure regulator that's in the TBI unit. So it's only running on that aeromotive regulator that's 1-to-1 ratio. Yeah, we'll get it warmed up and see how it does in the backyard with the snow. So moving on to the inside, really nothing too fancy in here. There's a AEM air-fuel ratio gauge, cheap vacuum and boost gauge. Otherwise, pretty much stock. It's a NV 3500 transmission. It is not factory, but it drives really nice. The truck has about 166,000 on it. Oil pressure is sitting at 30 pounds right now. In the summertime, hot, idle, that will drop, pretty low. This engine has been tired, like I mentioned. It's pretty much on its way out. So figured why not send it out with a bang with the turbo setup. But it won't die. So one more thing to note here while it's warming up is this thing is bone stock intake, stock TBI heads, stock bottom end, to the factory distributor, set at 0 degrees base timing, so it's very conservative and safe. The plan is in the future, once this thing actually blows up, is to go Vortec heads with a basically stock bottom end, but a decent intake with Vortec heads, and then throw some more timing at it and see what kind of power it can make then. Also, one cool thing to note is this variable resistor that I have set up. That's this guy here. It's 0 to 1000 ohms, and that is wired in line with my coolant temp sensor circuit, so that when the truck is running a little lean, because this can't really get dyno tuned or anything, being a TBI, not very many people can really tune these. So when the truck is running a little lean, I just turn that knob maybe a quarter turn to maybe half a turn, and it brings the AFRs right down to, you know, 12 to 1 when it's in boost is pretty safe. So it works pretty nicely, and it was the best and cheapest way to make sure that this thing doesn't run lean, because otherwise it's gonna blow up. Yeah, it's pretty loud with no muffler or anything. It gets that crazy crackle at like 3000 RPM, but it sounds pretty cool. Well, it was nice to finally get this thing out and fired up, get it warmed up, and made a little boost. It really doesn't get into boost until like 3,000 RPM, and being a stock TBI setup, it hits the rev limiter at like 4,200 RPM, so it really doesn't give you all that much more power. You know, it's nothing compared to like a turbo LS setup or something like that, but it's cool, it works, it sounds good, and it definitely makes a little more power. My van behind me there, I got some videos of that up, and that currently has a Vortec 350 in it with a carb intake adapted to a TBI setup. So that is a TBI 350 Vortec. That thing runs really good. If anything, it probably makes more power than the Turbo Blazer. If you guys want to see some more videos, we got the Turbo TBI Blazer and the Vortec TBI van. That's a 5-speed as well, NV 4500. So check out my other videos, and see you guys later. Thanks.